Chapter 9. It's 1955, the height of the boring, bland, and white Eisenhower years. Marian Anderson is the first black singer to perform at the Metropolitan Opera. 14-year-old Emmett Till is murdered in Moony, Mississippi, for allegedly whistling at a white woman, Carolyn Bryan. Rosa Parks is arrested in Montgomery, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. organizes a boycott of city buses. Racism is a terrible weight to live with. What an awful trip to lay on anyone, but especially a young child. Whoever dismisses bigotry or underestimates its impact has never lived under the pain. During those years, first at Luther Burbank and later at Berkeley High School, I'm immune in a personal sense. I see examples of racism plenty of times, like slights in class, with teachers ignoring black students to call on their pet white kids. But I myself feel too secure to be touched by anything like that. It just offends my sense of justice. My anger boils just beneath the surface. I think about someone telling a small kid he's second class because he's black. He's just an innocent child, but someone sticks a knife into his soul. It's repellent. And those responsible and those who stand by and watch it happen will burn in hell. All around me, my friends and acquaintances buckle under the burden of bigotry and prejudice and ignorance. I can look in their eyes and witness it happening. They get haunted. Their eyes tell me what's going on in their hearts. Well, maybe I am a low piece of shit like they say I am. That never happens to me. Maybe it's just the luck of personality, or the buffer that mama's love gives me. It's water off my back. But at my junior high school graduation ceremony, I duck out from under my black face for the first time ever. As usual, a girl is involved. I'm going out with a white girl named Judy. I only talk to her on the phone and at school. Her parents don't know I am black, because when I call the house, I put on a great white voice. For graduation, the dress code requires us to wear a black or navy suit, but the rules never apply to me. I insist that my mother buy me a beige suit because I want to stand out. Even back then, I love fashion. I am fly. Everyone in school knows that I am going to be the only one to wear a light-colored suit. Judy calls me up the night before the graduation, crying. She is scared that her parents will find out that I am black. And since I will be the only one in beige, I know I'll stand out. I love Judy so much that when they announce my name to come up and get my diploma, I hide backstage. I never show my face, so her parents won't see me and find out who I am. Mama and my mother are furious at me. They don't know my motives. I think it will make them even more angry if they know what game I am playing. It isn't until years later that I finally tell them the truth. They had forgotten all about the incident by then, but it sears itself into my memory. My skulking around backstage doesn't seem like cowardice to me. I think I am doing it for love. Other indignities, large and small, assault me at Berkeley High. Every black person in the world has that watershed nigger moment, a time when they remember being called the N-word. It's burned deep into our brains. It can never be washed out. In high school with me are twin white girls, and one of them gives me my very own personal nigger moment. I guess they aren't identical twins, because her sister is very liberal, but she is racist to the bone. We are in typing class. Yes, I type. And when the teacher leaves the room one time, I get up to walk around. I accidentally kick over the racist twin's bag, and ever the mama-trained gentleman, I'm going to pick it up and apologize. When this white girl says, "Pick it up," like a command. "What did you say?" I ask her. She looks at me with hate. Her sister puts an arm around her, but bigger twin shakes it off. "Pick up your own goddamn purse," I say. "Pick up my purse, nigger." She slaps my face hard. The Lord channels me. I grab her blonde, stringy hair and drag her toward the window. Her twin is screaming. Everyone in class is shouting at me. "Don't throw her out the window, Moony! Don't throw her out!" The teacher comes back in to see me grabbing a handful of bigot twins' hair. Then it's the principal's office, followed by the police station. I am too proud to tell anyone but Mama what triggered me. Racism is worked into the whole institution of Berkeley High back then. The school officials don't allow me to work at the yearbook or school newspaper. Again, I don't mope over the mistreatment. I just go ahead and publish my own guerrilla newspaper. It's a smash hit. I get called to the principal's office, where the assistant principal says they will suspend me if I continue to publish. This is not allowed, the assistant principal says. He's a guy whose ugly black horn rims cover half his face. It is against school policy, he explains, for a student to bootleg a newspaper. School policy. Yeah. That must be a clause in the rules that they invent, just for me, because there ain't anyone else around who is running a guerrilla publishing operation. It doesn't matter to me, and Mr. Horn Rims can tell it doesn't matter, and that makes him all the more uptight and angry. Moony must be healed like a dog. Moony must be chastened. But I'm not chastened. Far from it. I am 16 years old, tall, skinny, and good looking. Nothing bothers me. On the first day that I legally can, I go down and pass my driver's test. My mother's fast lifestyle is good for something. She owns a beautiful canary yellow Ford convertible. Me sitting behind the wheel of that car turns out to be irresistible. Maybe a little too irresistible. A girl named Tony can't resist me, and I can't resist her either. We have sex in the back of the Ford convertible, packed up in the Oakland Hills under the night stars. Once again, sex equals marriage in my young mind. I immediately conclude I'm going to walk down the aisle with Tony. All the boys talk about whom they are going to marry, and I always say it'll be Tony. She and I are going to be together forever. Only it doesn't work out that way. Instead, after a few months, Tony mysteriously disappears from view. She won't return my calls either. I am frantic. I can't understand what's happening. Then I hear through the grapevine that Tony is pregnant. I am young and terrified. Mama is furious with me, and my mother too. I never know when Tony gives birth because her family keeps it from me. When I do find out, I'm in school and almost die. And then I hear that she has given birth to twins. I collapse, literally, right there in the halls of Berkeley High School. When I show up at the 18th Street house, Mama makes fun of me by doing a sing-song ghetto rhyme. Annie has a baby in the back of a caddy. Annie said the baby don't look like daddy. Annie give her baby a pat on the head. Baby say to Annie, my daddy ain't Ted. Annie has a baby, she can't go to school. Annie say the daddy is a stone cold fool. She laughs and laughs, and I steam. The situation isn't much funny to me. Twins. I'm the father of 2 baby boys, Daryl and Dwayne Moony. As the twins grow up, I do see them, but I'm not a big part of their lives, because Tony's great-grandmother keeps them from me. It's not until much later when I move to LA that I start to see them regularly. Toward the end of high school, I fall in love with half-dozen beautiful women, all in their late teens and all beauty contest winners. My cousin Alice is one of them, and the Global sisters, Joanne, Sally, and Cynthia. Diane DeMarco is among them too. She has just won the Miss Albany contest in a town immediately north of Berkeley. Now she and Alice are up for Miss Oakland. I am in heaven with these women. Even though none of us are fucking each other, the aura of sex and beauty and youth is intoxicating. Diane has wealthy parents, and we tool around in her little 2-seater Mercedes sports car. I take the whole group on forays of what I call nig-noggin, slang for going to the black dance halls like the Clef, Bob City, the Long Bar, or the Orbit Room. The only other male we allow into our group is Huey P. Newton. He's a long way from being the Black Panther he's going to become. He and I get along well, because he's another Louisiana boy whose family uproots and moves to Oakland. I know him some in Oakland, but when I moved to Berkeley, Huey shows up at Berkeley High too. I think Huey transferred school because he likes me, but he's really more interested in my cousin, Alice. Alice at age 17 is one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen or ever will see. Light skin and startling green eyes. The way she carries herself, with a quiet grace, makes her prettiness all the more pronounced. Huey loves Alice. He wants to marry her. Back then, even though he goes to school, he can't read. He's starting his self-education. He carries a copy of Plato's Republic around everywhere he goes. The dude is struggling, moving his lips as he tries to get through one of the most difficult books of all time. Our aim in founding the state was not the disproportionate happiness of any one class, but the greatest happiness of the whole. We thought that in a state which is ordered with a view to the good of the whole, we should be most likely to find justice, and in the ill-ordered state, injustice. And having found them, we might then decide which of the two is the happier. Phew, that's some dense shit right there. There. I think about poor Huey puzzling his way through it. It's all Greek to me, but he doesn't give up. He masters it, and goes on to become one of the founders of the Black Panthers. Back then, though, he is just Huey, the only guy on the block who can compete with me in being handsome. All the girls love them some Huey P. Newton. Alice just accepts his worship and doesn't go any further with him. I wonder how the course of African American politics might have changed if my gorgeous cousin Alice would have looked kindly upon Huey's love pleas. It ain't Huey's time yet. Not with Alice. Not with Plato. Not with the Panthers. It's still the 1950s. The country is in an Eisenhower-Nixon coma. Ideas about race and culture are frozen solid, as though they're encased in a block of ice. Me just being me helps them unfreeze a little. In 1959, the biggest thing to hit Bay Area television is Dick Stewart's Dance Party program, broadcast every day except Sunday on KPIX Channel 5, a CBS affiliate. Dance Party's afternoon time slot goes from low ratings to crazy popular almost overnight. Dick Stewart is the square ball of the square balls, a Hollywood big band crooner who comes back to his hometown of Oakland to host the show. He plays a Jimmy Dorsey song as the theme music for a dance program aimed at teenagers. He's plastic and tan-fastic, with a big fake showbiz smile. But I like him.
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.
I went to jail so many times that my brother told my mother I was doing it on purpose. An OG gangster told me in the streets one day, "You're too sensitive for crime. You gotta be born with this." I often think that if my heart had been just a little bit colder, I would have stayed back there, and I would have died there in the streets. Maybe you can tell from the
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arness World. Thanks for watching.